Hello, I am Pramod Kumar. Today our subject is accountancy. Our chapter is cash flow statement and we have divided this into 6 parts. So 3 parts we have already covered and this is the fourth part of 6. In this part we will discuss cash flow from operating activities indirect method. In the last video, part 3 of 6, we had discussed cash flow from operating activities direct method, right? In this we will discuss indirect method. So here you need not see this right now. This we have done to save on time, right? So indirect method of ascertaining cash flow from operating activities. The starting point is net profit or loss before taxes and extraordinary items, right? Here cash flow from operating activities under indirect method, it starts with, for ascertaining this, we start with net profit or loss before taxation and extraordinary items. So what do we need to do? Here two things we need to take care of. First, whatever non-cash items are there, suppose non-cash item is there, expense item. So what do? We don't consider that, right? Non-cash items are not considered, like depreciation, goodwill, amount of goodwill written off, depreciation, those are non-cash items. They do not result into outflow of cash. They are accounting entries, but they don't result into any cash outflow. So non-cash items and another thing, since we are talking here of operating activities, whatever items are there on account of investing or financing activities, that we will need to adjust. How do we adjust? Suppose there is some expense which is attributable to investing activity, there is some expense. So we will need to add that back. If there is some income on account of investing activity, we will need to deduct it. Similarly, if there is an income on account of financing activities, we will need to deduct it. And if there is an expense on it which is attributable to financing activities, expense, it will need to be added back, right? Because profit and loss statement is prepared on accrual basis, not on cash basis. But here we need to know cash flow from operating activities indirect method, right? So let us do this simple sum, right? There are 3 columns: particulars, note, figures in rupees. First item is revenue from operations, 1 lakh rupees. Second item is other income, 2000 rupees. So the total of 1 and 2 becomes total revenue 1,02,000. But we need to take care of other income by way of note. Other income includes profit on sale of land. So we know what is profit on sale of land. It is on account of investing activity. But here we are concerned with cash flow from operating activity. So other income, which includes profit on sale of land and is attributable to investing activities, will not be considered as other income here, right? Either we don't consider it, or what do we do? Either we don't consider it as income, or we take out of this income, because this has been arrived at 30,000 after considering this other income of 2,000. So if we don't consider this income, it will become 28,000, right? Next, expenses are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 items. Cost of materials consumed 30,000. Cost of materials consumed 30,000. Operating expense, purchase of a stock in trade 10,000. Operating expense. Employee benefit expenses 10,000. Operating expense. Finance cost means interest cost, finance cost 5,000 rupees. What is this? Finance cost is attributable to financing activities, right? So what will happen? 30,000 we have deducted 2,000 because other income is on account of profit on sale of land, which is attributable to investing activities. Income inflow on account of investing activities. So this 30,000 minus 2,000 became 28,000. Now finance cost, this is an expense which has been considered in this P&L, but it is attributable not to operating activities but to financing activities. So what will happen? This will need to be added back to this. So 30,000 minus 2,000 plus 5,000 of finance cost. Next expense is depreciation 5,000. Once again, we know depreciation is a non-cash item, but we are concerned with cash flow. So this expense has been considered in this P&L statement, so it will need to be added back, right? We have taken what we have discussed in the beginning, that cash flow from operating activities under indirect method, it starts with net profit before taxation and extraordinary items. So here we are at profit before tax 30,000. Other income which is on account of sale of land attributable to investing activities, we have deducted from 30,000, so it becomes 28,000. And finance cost of 5,000 which is attributable to financing activity, since it is an expense in this P&L, it needs to be added back here for arriving at cash flow from operating activities. Next one, expense is depreciation 5,000. We know this is a non-cash item. It has been considered in this P&L and we are concerned with cash flow, so it will be added back to the income. So what do we get here? And other expenses as 12,000 is okay, right? So 30,000 plus 10,000, 40,000 minus 2,000, we come to 38,000, right? Correct? So here we had come to 30,000 of PBT. This other income is on account of something other than operating activity, so it needs to go out. Since it is income, it needs to go out. Income in P&L, but we are interested in arriving at cash flow. So it will go out 28,000. And finance cost and depreciation, they are on account of, this is on account of financing activity, it will be added back. Depreciation is on account of non-cash item. It will be added back. So we will get 38,000 of PBT so far as cash flow from operating activities through indirect method is concerned, right? So it says depreciation is a non-cash item and hence rupees 5,000 charged as depreciation doesn't result in any cash flow, means cash outflow. Therefore, this amount must be added back to the net profit, which we have done here. Finance cost of 5,000 is cash outflow on account of financing activity. Therefore, this amount must also be added back to the net profit, which we have done. This amount of finance cost will be shown as an outflow under the head of financing activity. But here we are in operating activity, right? Other income 2,000 includes profit on sale of land. It is a cash inflow from investing activity, which we have already discussed. Cash inflow from investing activity. Hence this amount must be deducted. We have deducted from the amount of net profit while calculating cash flows from operating activities. Here we are calculating cash flow from operating activities through indirect method, right? So what we have done? Non-cash income will need to be deducted. Non-cash expense will need to be added. Income on account of investing or financing activity or both will need to be deducted. Expense on account of investing or financing activity or both will need to be added back. As simple as that, right? Then we have got an idea how to calculate. Then another thing is change in current liability and current assets. What do we do with that? That is very simple. Change in current liability and current asset. You just remember it like this. Increase in current asset will be deducted, right? Decrease in current asset, add, right? Increase in current liability, add. Decrease in current liability, deduct, right? So let us explain it. If there is an increase in current asset, we need to deduct it. Why do we need to deduct it? See, it's very simple. If balance of current asset increases, cash flow from operating activity decreases, right? If balance of a current asset increases, cash flow from operations will decrease. Why does it happen like this? Because for increase in current assets, cash is used up. When there is an increase in current assets, cash is used up. When there is a decrease in current assets, cash inflow takes place. Cash inflow. When there is an increase in current liability, what happens? Cash inflow takes place. When there is a decrease in current liability, cash is used up, right? So if you remember it like this, then it says like this: increase in current assets and decrease in current liabilities. Increase in current assets and decrease in current liabilities are deducted from the operating profit. Deduct from operating profit. Then decrease in current assets, decrease in current assets and increase in current liabilities are added to the operating profit so as to arrive at the exact amount of net cash flow from operating activities, right? So you must remember this. Increase in current asset. What happens when there is an increase in current asset? Cash is used up, so we need to deduct it. When there is a decrease in current assets, cash inflows, so we need to add it. When there is an increase in current liability, there is an inflow of cash, so it needs to be added to the operating profit. And where there is a decrease in current liability, we need to deduct it, right? For decrease in current liability, cash is used up. For increase in current assets, cash is used up. When there is a decrease in current asset, cash inflows. And when there is an increase in current liability, cash inflows. So you need to remember it like this, okay? Then, as per accounting standard 3, which we have been discussing all through this chapter, under indirect method, net cash flow from operating activities is determined by adjusting net profit or loss for the effect of, we have already discussed, non-cash items such as depreciation, goodwill, etc. Provisions, deferred taxes, etc., which are to be added back. Non-cash items of expenses need to be added back. All other items for which the cash effects are investing or financing, which we discussed, investing or financing or both, if on account of investing and financing activity there is an income, it needs to be deducted. If on account of investing financing activity there is an expense, it needs to be added back, right? All investing and financing incomes are to be deducted from the amount of net profits, while all such expenses are to be added back, which we have already discussed. For example, finance cost, which is a financing cash outflow, is to be added back because it has been considered as finance cost in this profit and loss statement. So it needs to be added back when we are considering cash flow from operating activities, right? Finance cost, which is a financing cash outflow, is to be added back, while other income such as interest received, which is investing cash flow, is to be deducted from the amount of net profit. Changes in current assets and liabilities. Changes in current assets and current liabilities during the period. Increase in current assets and decrease in current liabilities. Increase in current assets and decrease in current liabilities are to be deducted, right? And decrease in current asset and increase in current liability are to be added back, right? Why to be added back, we have already discussed. When there is an increase in current assets, cash is used up. When there is a decrease in current assets, cash inflows. When there is increase in current liability, cash inflows. And when there is decrease in current liability, cash is used up, right? For decreasing liability, cash is used up. and when the liability increases, current liability, cash inflows into the business, right? Another thing is the direct method provides information, direct method which we discussed in part 3 of 6, right? Direct method provide information which is useful in estimating future cash flows. It helps in estimating future cash flows. But such information is not available under indirect method. However, in practice, very large number of companies for producing their cash flow from operating activities, they use indirect method for arriving at net cash flow from operating activities, right? So, how does the formula go? The formula goes like this. It's easy to understand. See, once again, it starts with net profit or loss before taxation and extraordinary items, right? Before that. So one point is this, we start from here, then what are the things we add and deduct? First let us consider everything that we add. Depreciation, we add back. Why do we add back depreciation? Because it is a non-cash expense, so we add it back. Depreciation already made in profit and loss, right? And depreciation plus goodwill, non-cash items, right? Then we add, what do we add? Deduction already made in P&L on account of non-operating items. We have already discussed deductions made in P&L on account of investing, financing activities, right? Deduction already made in a statement P&L on account of non-operating items or items arising out of investing, financing activities. They are non-operating items, right? Then we deduct. What do we deduct? Addition or income made in P&L on account of non-operating items, right? Suppose we have considered some income which has emanated from non-operating items, that we will deduct. What are those items like? Dividend received, profit on sale of fixed assets, income on account of which we have already taken in P&L, non-operating items. What are non-operating items? Investing and financing activities items, such as dividend received, right? Dividend received, profit and sale of fixed asset. Profit on sale of fixed asset. What is that? It arises out of investing activities, right? So this we will deduct. It has already been taken in P&L. Then we come to operating profit. before taxation and extraordinary items. Whatever figure we get here, suppose here we are getting this figure, we add the second one, we add the third one, then we deduct the fourth one, then we get operating profit before taxation and extraordinary items, right? In this, what do we do? Which we have already discussed. We will add, what do we add? We had discussed about change in liabilities. So, what do we add? Increase in current assets will be deducted and decrease in current assets will be added, right? Decrease in current assets will be added and increase in current assets will be deducted. Now, in respect of liability, what will happen? Opposite of this, increase in current liability increase in see, if there is a decrease in current asset, it will be added. Decrease in current assets will be added, increase in current asset will be deducted, that is correct. Then increase in current liability, right? Increase in current liability will be added and decrease in current liability, right? Current assets increase is added, right? And current assets decrease is added, current assets increase is deducted, right? Here also increase in current liability, right? Decrease in current asset is added, then increase in current asset is deducted. Increase in current asset is deducted and decrease in current liability is deducted, right? So, when we do this also, account for these also, what do we get? After that, we get cash flow from operating activity, before taxation and extraordinary items, right? Here we get, then we deduct taxes and plus or minus extraordinary items, and finally we get net cash flow from operating activities through indirect method, right? Net cash flow from operating activities. So once again, the formula is we start with indirect method, net profit or loss before taxation and extraordinary items, that is figure. What do? We add depreciation made in P&L, depreciation or goodwill which are non-cash expenses, we add it back. We also add back deduction made in P&L on account of investing or financing activities, whatever items are there in P&L, right? Then we deduct income on account of non-operating items. We are here for operating activity, so whatever income is there on account of non-operating items, we deduct. Then we get operating profit before taxation and operating profit before working capital changes. This is before working capital changes, because below this we have enumerated changes in working capital, right? Then if there is a decrease in current asset, we add it. If there is an increase in current asset, we deduct it. If there is increase in current liability, we add it. If there is decrease in current liability, we deduct it. Then we get cash flow from operating activities before tax and extraordinary items. Then we deduct taxes and deduct or add extraordinary items, and then we come to net cash flow from operating activities through indirect method, right? So we hope you found it easy to understand. In case of any difficulty, you may please approach me on my email ID, which will be there at the thumbnail to the video. Thank you very much.